Hey, welcome to another short tutorial video. This is for students in week 9 and 10 and moving into week 11, and you're working on your investments in your financial planning portal. So in this video, I want to show you why you're unable to move the needle, why you're unable to change your asset allocation. So this student, I'll try to not highlight the student's name, it doesn't matter. This is a regularly occurring question. So you do your assignment and you're supposed to see how you can move the needle on your retirement. And one of the ways you do that, one of the ways you move the needle and get off of a zero probability of success is to change the asset allocation in your investments. So this student has identified that, so I'm going to just click through a few things so you can see what's going on. When I go to profile, let's go to income. You go to your profile, go to income, go to savings. So this student has identified a $90,000 a year income. That's perfect. That's great. That's based on the fact that this student is going to get a job in the industry that this student pursued. So that's awesome. That's a great assumption. Now we go to the savings assumption. So we've got a 401k and a taxable account, two accounts set up with a 20% contribution. 20% of what? 20% of a $90,000 paycheck. And then we've got a contribution, an annual contribution in this taxable account of 20 grand. Here's the problem. The student has not set up any investment accounts. So if I go over to investment and I want to change the asset allocation, I go to add an account. There's no account. There's no investment account, even though the student is saying that they're saving 20% in a 401k account and $20,000 a year in a taxable account. You see the problem? This assumption is not getting plugged into your plan because you haven't set up any investment accounts. So to fix that, you go to profile, go to net worth. See down here in investments, nothing is there. So let's add an account. Let's call it an investment account. Let's call it a 401k. How's that? And make sure you click down on this little drop down and identify it as a 401k. And since we're doing 20% of 90 grand, I'm just going to make it a $20,000 balance in this account just to set it up. So you could pretend that you've been investing for a couple of years and maybe you got 50 grand or 100 grand in here. I don't care. I just want you to see how this works, and you need an account set up in your plan in order to play with the different things you have, the different metrics that you can use to move the needle on the outcome. So I hope that makes sense. We're setting up an account. A 401k account is necessary to be able to play with any of the metrics in your plan. So we've saved that. Now let's add another account, an investment, a non-taxable. Let's just call it a non-tax. Well, let's just call it a taxable account because that's what. So basically, you're going to learn that there's a difference between a 401k and a taxable account. If you buy Apple stock in this taxable account and you make a lot of money because the stock goes up, and then you sell that stock in a taxable account, you have to pay the taxes. In a 401k, you don't have to pay taxes on transactions. So you can have a profit and make a profit and not have to pay tax on it. So the Roth IRA, the 401k, the deductible IRA account, those are great tax deferred or tax-free accounts to do trading. I mean, you don't have to pay tax. That's the difference between a taxable account and a tax qualified account. So I don't want to get too deep in the weeds right here. I'm just showing you why you can't move the needle, why you can't change the asset allocation in your plan because you haven't set up any investments. So I'm going to put 20 grand here because this student said they were going to do 20 grand a year into this account. So let's pretend they've already put it in for this year. So they've got 20 grand. Great. So now go back to dashboard, look at investments, and now you see you've got something to play with. So let's just go to retirement now and do a quick check-in to see how we can move the needle. So it looks like the probability of success has already gone up because we've created a plan. So let's see what we've got. If we wanted to move the needle, let's say we want to change this from the conservative current allocation to, let's call it aggressive. Let's hit the refresh button and see what happens. So is it going to go up or down? It went down. So I wonder what kind of asset allocation the student currently has in their investments. Moderate. So how did they get that moderate? I think the student must have already done that. But at any rate, the needle wasn't moving because there were no accounts. So if your account, or if your plan doesn't have any accounts in it, then that's something you're going to have to fix. So I just lost my mouse. I'm not sure why. I think maybe the battery's dead, and that could really mess this video up. But anyway, I just wanted to show you one reason you may not be able to move the needle in your retirement analysis because you haven't set up an investment account. So do that and then give it another try. And now I got to figure out how to fix my mouse. So let's see.